Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title, today I'm going to be talking about what it's like growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood. This is honestly a video that I was skeptical about making. As I am, like I've said before, I'm very personal and I don't usually talk about the way I'm feeling in like a public platform and everything. So, but I honestly feel like it's time that I make this video just with everything that is going on in the world right now. And I just think me being a black woman, I shouldn't be afraid to speak about the way I feel about growing up in a white neighborhood, which is something that I never necessarily spoke upon when I was attending high school and just like middle school and everything like that. But I feel like me being the woman that I am today in college and going to a very active and a very open-minded college, it's something that I should be talking about right now, especially just with everything that's going on. So let's get right into it, because I'm gonna end up making this intro mad long. So alright. Alright guys, so you are not going to be seeing me all hyped up today, all extra today, because although that is a part of my personality, it is only a partial part of my personality. Today you're going to be seeing the serious Bria and what actually goes through her mind and everything. That was kind of deep, but anyway. So one topic that I'm going to touch upon is dating, okay? So basically, in my situation, I grew up being interested in white boys. It was a phase, but then it wasn't, because like white boys are attractive, but at the same time, like they not my first go-to, and they used to be my first go-to. Like I used to be like, oh, I want a Hispanic guy, oh, I want a white guy, you know what I'm saying? And that was honestly, like I grew up liking black guys, but there was a very low selection within my high school. So it was like, it was either the Hispanic boys who low-key only wanted a white girl or a Hispanic girlfriend, or you went after the white boy. But you know, like I didn't know where to go. You know, I was stuck. Every time I was interested in a white guy in the high school or whatever, I would always like ask my friends if they thought that he would be interested in black girls, or if they seen him like dating a black girl before or talking to one or something like that, to basically give me the confidence to be like, oh, I like him, like I can go and talk to him and everything like that. And then, well, now that I think about it, it's actually kind of sad that that's what I had to go through or just think about simply just by liking somebody or having a crush on them or being attracted to them. I actually had to figure out if they were interested in black girls before even continuing to go forward with it. And like, I didn't realize the problem. Like, it's actually really sad that being a black girl, that's what you have to go through. You have to figure out, oh, is he even interested in black women? Like, will he even go for me? Like, am I his first pick, you know? When it shouldn't even be that. It should just be, oh, like, he could like me for my personality. He could like me for my intelligence. But that was always like my first question, is if he's into black girls first. And being in high school, you don't really realize the problem with that until you're older and you're realizing, okay, I'm interested in this person, and you don't necessarily have to worry about the color of your skin. But that's just something that I was always focused about. And then another issue that I would have, another question that I would have when liking or being attracted to like a white guy, I would be like, oh, is his parents, like, would his parents even approve of me? Would he want to bring me home to meet his parents? Like, how would that situation work? Like, what if we get into an argument and he literally calls me the N-word? It's just something that like that went through my head during the time. And it would just be very frustrating. Not even frustrating, just like annoying. But like, it was also something that like I kind of looked forward to like thinking about, like if he was into black girls, like, oh, I got a shot, like I can get at him, you know what I mean? And it was just pretty, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like, that's what the experience was. And another question that would go through my head, if he was interested in me, it would be like, okay, is he only using me for one thing, or is he actually down for me for my personality and wanting to get to know me? But it would just be like, oh, am I being fetishized? Like, is he even really interested in me? So it was just a lot of stuff that went through my head, like What if his parents don't like me? What if they don't even approve of him dating a black girl or being interested in a black girl? What if they're just like approving because like their son is bringing her home? Why does having a crush on somebody have to be so difficult? Why do I have to ask myself all these questions? When you're in kindergarten, you got a crush on somebody, you just got a crush on somebody. You're not even focused on the color of their skin. Like, why is that something that I have to worry about? Why do I have to sit there and be like, oh, is he even into black girls? Do I even have a chance at getting at him? Like, do I have, like, who am I to, like, even go and talk to him? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why the fuck do I have to sit there and question myself like that? Why do I have to worry about if his parents would approve of me? The question is his parents gonna like me because of my personality? Like, when I speak to them, are they gonna like me for what I'm going for or who I am as a person, not the color of my skin, what they're gonna see first. But it's just something that went through my head a lot. It didn't even matter if they were white. It didn't matter if they were Asian or Hispanic or black, because a lot of the black guys within my high school went for white girls. So it was like they either only went for white girls or Hispanic girls, and they were just like, nah, like I don't want a black girl. So in that stage of like high school, you don't necessarily feel like you're the prettiest girl. You just feel like, okay, like if like I felt like I could get a boyfriend in like a different town where they were mostly black. I didn't feel like I could get a boyfriend in the high school because it was just like they're all gonna go for the same blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, and then if they have an ass, that's what they're gonna go for too. So it's just like, where do I go? Like, you know, it was just like, okay, like whatever. And it was kind of frustrating, like even like trying to find like a prom date, because I knew that my parents, like, it's not that they wouldn't approve, but they would definitely have questions if I was going to prom with a white guy. And it's like a lot of my friends were able to do that if they were Hispanic or Asian. Like, they were able to just be like, oh, I'm going with a white guy. But me, when I was choosing a prom date, it's sad, it's really sad, but I was literally going by race and like their appearance, basically, because I knew that if I brought like a white boy to prom, my parents would not necessarily, they wouldn't be against it. I just knew that they would be more so concerned for me, rather than if I went with like a Hispanic guy or a black guy, it wouldn't be such an issue, and it would basically get less stress off of my shoulders. And the only thing which is sad is that like having the parents that I do, who are fully black, grew up the way they did, and then me being in a white school, it was just, they were really worried if the boy's parents would like me, if they would approve of him going to prom with me, how it would be seen and everything. And it's like, why do I have to go through all of that? Okay, another thing that I want to touch upon is education, and just basically sitting in class every day and having to sit there and just realize like, wow, like I'm really the only black person in this room. Like it would just, I'm gonna speak about like the emotional and mental parts about it right now. Just I feel like every black person felt this, and I know this may be generalized or whatever, but this is just my point of view. I felt like the worst classes that I had or was afraid to go to every single day is American history classes in general. Just being able to sit there and like, my biggest fear was like, oh my god, like what if they talk about slavery? Like what if they talk about this? And it's like, that shouldn't be a fright. Like that should be something that I want to learn about. But I felt like I was more scared about the narrative that would be told, or just me being the only black person in the room, because literally if you were the only black person in a predominantly white room, everybody's gonna stare at you. And that was like my biggest fear of just sitting in a history class, and then we get on the topic of slavery, and then everybody's just staring at me as soon as they say the word black. And like, it's not even I can't say it's an embarrassing feeling. It's just like, okay, like I get it. Like I'm the only black person in here. Why you guys got to stare at me and make it even more known, you know? I felt like I always had to prove that I was smart, or that I could be in the same classes that the white kids could be in, which was honors and AP. And I felt like I had to speak like extra louder, or basically like get my point across in a good way, in an intelligent way, to be seen a certain way. Like why did I feel like I had to prove myself? Why did I feel like I had to speak louder, or basically voice my opinion louder, you know? And it was just a very like, I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, why do I have to prove that I could be just as smart just because of the color of my skin? And like, it's just like a lot of things that go through your head. Like I couldn't even go to class without like thinking about, oh, how they're gonna view me. Oh, I have this class today, so I should wear this. No, yeah, so I felt like being like the only black person in the room, it got to a certain point where I was so fed up of being there or just being able to sit there and listen to like what these people were saying, and it got to a point where I was like, nah, like I'm gonna have to speak up because this is ridiculous. First of all, one of them that I hate is, oh, your hair's so pretty for a black girl. Like, you have really nice hair. Are you mixed? Like, there's no way. Like, I remember someone asked me that when I was younger. I don't remember who it was, but I was just like, what? Like, did you just ask me that if I'm mixed just because I have good hair? And like me growing up, that obviously is gonna put in my head that black people can't have pretty hair or something, or that I must be mixed to have good hair. Or, oh my god, your skin's so pretty, like I wish I was as tan as you. Bitch, first of all, I'm black. This ain't a tan, this is melanin. People love black culture, but they don't love, like, certain people don't love black people. Like, how can you sit there and be like, oh, you're an N-word, you're this, that, but then you can go sit in the sun to try and get your skin color to look like mine, or get lip fillers to look like mine. I was sitting at work and I had got there extra early just because school had ended early or my class got canceled, and I was talking to one of the teachers that work at an elementary school for the after school program that I work at, because she was there. Doesn't matter why she was there, I'm just gonna tell the story. But she had asked me what college that I went to. Before I could even answer, she was like, oh, do you go to NCC? Yo. And this is when I really started selling my education, because I was like, this bitch really just sat here and asked me if I go to a community college. And there's nothing wrong with community college at all. I was actually thinking about doing that for 2 years before I went off to university. But the point of that backhanded compliment is the fact that she looked at me, and because of the color of my skin, automatically I had to be going to a community college. I couldn't go to a university. That was her first thought. And although that may be something that she doesn't realize, and just thought like, oh, like she could be going to college, but it's just a community college, she thought that because that's what she sees within the black community of individuals going to a community college, and that's what she saw when she looked at me. And that's annoying, because you could have just let me answer you first instead of throwing out your initial thought that I could just be going to community college. So that's when I really started selling myself. I was like, oh, actually, I go to the new school in New York, and I'm also majoring in this. Oh, but I'm also double minoring. And then she was like, oh wow, that's great. Like, that's so good. Like, why are you so surprised? Like, what? Another question that people would ask me is, oh, like, how does your mom afford to live where she lives? Like, you know, like, how did you guys afford to live there? Like, do you see me asking you that question? Like, how do you go by just like asking someone how they afford to live where they live? My mom works, doesn't yours? I just don't understand. Like, how do you go? So what, I'm black and I have to live in the quote-unquote projects or in the quote-unquote ghetto because of the color of my skin? I can't live in a nice neighborhood just because I'm black? My mom can't drive the car that she drives because she's black? My mom can't make the money that she makes because she's black? It's just too many stereotypes that people ask or people play out, and they don't even realize that they're playing out, because it's an unconscious prejudice that they have. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel. It's okay if you don't. I just like people watching my videos. It's completely fine. If you don't want to subscribe, that's up to you. I encourage that you subscribe. But if you don't want to subscribe, that's okay. I'm just glad that you even clicked on the video to see me. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, yeah.